Uh, okay, let's get started while everybody else is joining. So today's session is going to be about, like, in the last few days we have been seeing a lot of knowledge about ourselves. We have tried to understand human being, self, then body, relationship, and relationships between people, that is one self and the other self. Then we saw how a human being can harmoniously participate in the society, and then we also saw how the human being is expected to participate harmoniously in the nature. Now all this knowledge I mean, we have received so much knowledge. We thought it will be helpful if one second, man.
Suman, I think you are in mute event. Hello.
Yeah, just a second, SG. Yeah, sorry. So many admits are coming to me. Anyway, so we now in this session we are going to focus um, on how we are going to I mean, some guidelines about implementation. So the implementation, there is no one way that somebody can implement this knowledge. The implementation is all contextual. So depending on our family circumstances, depending on our individual situations, it will be different. But we thought there are some generic things which we could guide you on, and on how to go about implementing this knowledge, how we have tried, and how what worked for us and what did not work for us. So we want to share our experience, and specifically, like, at the self level, what are the things that somebody tried and what worked, at the relationships level, what was tried and what worked, and at society level and nature level. So these are the various things that we're going to see in the session today. Before going into that, we want to introduce about our organization. We briefly mentioned about it at the beginning of the workshop, but we want to tell you about the activities that our organization does in a little bit of detail, and also how you could participate and support us. So with that, I'd like to introduce Hari Kumarji, who has been taking all the English discussion sessions. He's one of the co-founders of CHDHC, also a faculty at NIT Warangal. So he's going to talk about this our organization, which we call as Center for Holistic Development of Human Consciousness. And yeah, he will take you through what it is. Hariji, Hari Kumarji, can you please um, take over and present about the CHDHC organization to our participants? Hari Garu, you are on mute. We can't hear you, Hari Garu. Hari Garu, you seem to be on mute. We can't hear you. You're showing up as muted, Hari Garu.
Can we remove so that again he will join?
Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, now we can
Hello?
hear you, Hari Garu. Yeah, now
Did you
you're
make any
audible.
announcement, Suman? I didn't hear.
Yeah, I made the announcement. You can get started,
Hello?
Hari Garu. Hello,
Hello?
we are able to hear you.
Hello?
We
Anybody
can
talking? Suman, I can't hear you.
we can hear you, Harigar. You can get started.
Hello? Okay. Okay. Can I start, Suman?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks for this opportunity. So I'll be briefly presenting what is this CHDHC is about. So this workshop is being organized by CHDHC. So CHDHC stands for Center for Holistic Development of Human Consciousness. So I'll explain briefly what the CHDHC is and its activities, and then our plans, and then how you can be part of us. To start with, the vision of the CHDC is to bring about a transformation in human order. When you say human order, everybody in the existence, every human being, so that we live with in coexistence with the rest of the nature. And this we believe is possible by imparting this universal human values education, so which is based on the Jeevan Vidya. And ultimately, we want this education to be part of the mainstream system and be part of this tradition or parampara, we call it, so that it gets continued. And that's possible to make it that possible by making it part of every school and college, and for that matter in every house, right? So with this CSDCs operates in NGO mode, so we don't charge money for teaching this. It's not a paid course or paid workshop, and then people involved do not take any money, and this is not source of income for us. We have our regular jobs, and this we are doing out of feeling of responsibility, and we feel that whatever we know, sharing is better, right? So our idea is this, right? We have been doing, and we have plans to do these activities in 4 parts. So the first part is about what you are going through, that is organizing workshops, introductory workshops, and then we also have some higher level workshops which we have to start. We have not yet started organizing these higher level workshops. And then after workshop, we all know that this content is not so easy to absorb, and we need a repeated input. So we conduct weekly Q&As, and we send out newsletters. We also design workshops for different target groups, that is corporates, NGOs, colleges, and schools. And then some issue-based talks also we arrange, issue-based seminars or the webinars, you can call them, on parenting or teach on education and such topics. So these are all mainly targeting about the adults who have gone out of the education system mostly, right? And the second part is we are also interested, not immediately, but in near future, we are also interested in starting a school based on this, universal human values principles. You all been, suggesting us that, these things should be taught, from the beginning in the very early childhood and all. So we also feel that, and we want to, start such a school which is based on these principles. And then for that, we are preparing ourselves. Some of our team members are going through the training related to the schools, and they're also started working. They have also started working in schools and preparing ourselves for this thing. So this is our future plan. This will be an alternate system to the regular schools. And then the third part is about doing research. So as if you are into our workshops, for every version of the workshop, we keep on updating, changing. So we are all the time thinking of ways to how effectively we can communicate this to others, so that more and more people understand this easily, and then this is observed by most people. So in that, we work on content, we work on presentation style, we work on various ways of doing these things. That is the research part. And any large scale change to come, it has to happen through a system in which in the government, different elements of the government, and NGOs, and many wings of the society have to get involved. So to bring about a large system, we need to work with different wings. So that is our fourth part, to bring a change in the system. So as a part of that, we work with colleges, we work with schools, as I said, corporate, some government programs. And as of now, we are supporting some of these programs, some of these big initiatives which are taken at national level by institutes like AICTE for technical education and all. So these are our 4 things. The first one is mainly targeted at the adults. The second one is about the children, and the third one is doing more research into this content for a better delivery, and the fourth one is large scale change in the system. So these are the four verticals or the four ways of our working, you can say. The first one we accomplish by organizing these workshops. Second, we need to start a school. The third one is an ongoing activity. This goes on in parallel by us. And the fourth one is a systems change. But it's very clear that this building of these four activities can build only based on the clarity we have, the team which is doing the CHDC activities, the clarity in us, and how much we are able to live in our families, right? So that becomes actually the foundation of entire CHDHC, because you have a lot of these things going on in which there is no walking the talk, right? So I would like to believe, and we are working on these things, that the foundation of this entire building you see is actually founder families who are planning, right, who are in the process of living whatever we talk, right? On that this entire thing is standing. So this is briefly about what is the CHDC vision, mission, and the activities. And then whatever we have done so far, so we have formed at least little more than 2 years back, right? Some of us friends who have attended workshop like this, and then we like the content, we felt that we should do something so that it reaches more and more people. So with that feeling, we have started this. So we have been going to several places, many colleges, schools, NGOs, and many deemed universities, majorly in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, many places, Karnataka, many places we are going as a resource persons when the programs are conducted by colleges and some organizations. And we ourselves organize this workshop, which we throw open to everybody in the society. We send invitation to whatever contacts we have. Mostly we organize in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And 2018-19, we have organized 33 workshops, and about 1,700 participants have participated. So these are residential, in-house, residential face-to-face workshops. So we mostly organize them in IIIT Hyderabad, with which we have very good connection, because a lot of work related to human values happened in the IIIT, and there is a very conducive environment there. And we also conduct this workshop in various places. For example, in Vizag, in Vijayawada, other places also, wherever people like you support us and give some facility, we conduct there. And 2020, and the first 3 months, Jan, Feb, March, we conducted 4 workshops. About 300 participants have participated. And then we did one experiment. In fact, we conducted a workshop in which we invited all couples, because husband attends and says that my wife has to attend, or wife attends, he says that my husband has to attend. So we said that both of you come together now. So that's the couple workshop. It went really well, right? But after March, so this corona has arrived. So from that time onwards, we have been conducting this online workshop. So which itself is a paradigm shift for us. We have learned a lot, and a lot of participants are showing interest in attending. Each workshop, has minimum of 100 participants. So 7 batches we have conducted so far. All those 7 batches are conducted in Telugu. About 800 plus participants participated. And this is the 8th batch that is going on based on some requests and some clarity. So we decided to conduct this workshop in the English language, and in which we have some participants ranging from 90 to 120. Because it is online, the number of participants is varying. So hence we are given a range. So this is a summary of the activities. Overall, we touched up to something like 2,500 to 3,000 people we have able to touch in the last 2 years or so. And these are some pictures from previous some of our programs in the previous. This is a picture taken in IIIT, right? And this is a picture of Giri, who did a program there's a program in the FBP, and these are some of our family members in the CHDC family, founding members family. And then there are some more pictures. So this is a picture of a workshop that happened in NIT Warangal. And then these are some more pictures of the events. Whenever we go workshop, at the end of it, we like to take these pictures and see it. Now this is the team of CHDHC. So you can see, right. So there are people, and these many people in the team. So the first 3 people are the Pradeep. Professor Pradeep is a professor in IIIT. He's our mentor and teacher. And then the Giridhar. is our core team member. All of us are the core team, and Dr. Sundar, who is a doctor and then member of our founding the team. And the fourth one, I'm Harikmar, so I work as a professor in NIT Warangal. And the fifth one is Amma Srinivas, so who has been helping you in coordinating, and he's full time into this, right? He is a social worker. And the Suman is a software engineer. He's in US, so he's the one who is handling this workshop, right? And then we have the Shiva, who takes a lot of workshops, and then he's also a full time into this. His a profession passion being the human values, so he works a lot in this area. And we have Bala Ramesh, who is more attracted towards the nature and likes this content. He's also part of it. And we have Sridevi Garu and Narasimha Swami. So they also help us in taking the workshop, handling the discussion sessions. So all of us have more than a decade of journey with this human values. And then we are the team as of now, and we are continuously expanding. Then more and more people join, will be stronger and stronger. And then gratitude to our teachers. Some of you have been asking, so what is the root of this content? And also the person you see in the middle, Shri A. Nagaraji, we all call him Babaji. So he's the person who worked more than 3 decades very intensively with a lot of curiosity to get the clarity and understand the entire existence and the way out. So he proposed this content called Jeevan Vidya, and the human values content, what you see is based on that. And then we have learned this from these 2 teachers primarily. So one is Ganesh Bagariaji, who is based in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and other person is Pradeep Ji, so who is in Triple IT. So gratitude to our teachers. From them, we have learned, and then further sharing with all of you. So what we can do as a CSDC is, right, for a teaching faculty or any group, or a group of families or any organization, we are ready to offer sessions ranging from 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to 1 full week workshop on these things. And we also are interested in doing this more and more for the NGOs and charitable sector, because they are already into service, and then to them, if you do it, it will be we felt it will be much better. And then we also want to this workshop for the corporate sectors. They also badly need it, and then the working culture and all needs a lot of improvement. People are under stress in these sectors, so we are ready to do customized workshop for the corporates. So as of now, what we are doing already, the regular activities are regular online workshops we are doing as of now, because face-to-face workshop we are not able to do due to Corona. And this face-to-face workshop we do after the situation is normal. We will resume and do it in different cities, right, all across the country, right, wherever we have some offering, somebody offers the facility. So we are ready to do this workshop, face-to-face workshop in various cities in the country. And then we also facilitate this weekly question and answers or the refresher session. So we attend this workshop, but then a frequent or periodic refreshing is necessary. So every Sunday, without changing the day, without changing the time, every single Sunday morning 7 to 8:30, 1.5 hours, we have this refresher session. One of us facilitates. We take questions and brush up the content. So if you are registered with us, right, you will get an update. You don't have to do anything extra. If you are not registered but attended, please go and register. And once in a while, we want to do as much as possible, maybe once in a month almost, that we are doing these special sessions. So this is a broad content, but how do you apply to a specific situation? So like in parenting, like in children education, like in marriage. So the special sessions we have started. So we are doing some of these special sessions. So most things, whatever we find that it came out well, these things we share in the YouTube channel for a wider audience. These videos are a little longer. The people have to watch it. So all the sessions, whatever we conduct, most of the time, right, we share in the YouTube channel, but it takes time for editing and all. So we do not charge money for any of these activities. We feel that knowledge is have to be free of the cost, so that it reaches more and more people. So that is about what we are offering, right? And how you can support us. You can join us, be a part of it. So first thing is that we have to attend this workshop without sufficient journey in the content, sufficient time, without spending sufficient time with the content. So we cannot be part of it. That is first mandatory requirement. So you attend these workshops, right? Maybe few more times one has to attend. and you can help us in organizing this workshop itself, and you can volunteer to do some activities. And then if you're good at some technical skills, whether it is doing designing some promotional material like posters, websites, or doing it on social media, so you can help us organizing this Google Meet and such things, you can help us, right? And we also want people to do this translation. People ask, for example, do you have slides, all the slides in Telugu? We don't have. So we want people to help us in translating this material. Then you can also help us in kind. Let's say you have a college, you have a school, or you have a place where you can organize the workshops, or you have some things to, or you are ready to give food to the participants of the workshop. So that way you can support us in kind whenever we organize the workshop, like things, some physical facilities you can offer to us. But as of now, the most important thing we need is required is the financial support, because most workshops are going on now online only. So you can sponsor a workshop. In case of face to face, the venue facilities are required, but the money, there's no payment of money to the facilitator anyway. We are doing, all of us doing it for free. But then if you want to do this workshop, if you see this UHV is valuable and it makes a difference, right? It helps the society to overall to improve, right? And then it's time to show us our support. If you want these activities, we do the year round, and naturally one person is required, at least one person is required full time to do all this organization. So we have one person whom we support, right? In fact, finding such person itself is big, is a big thing these days. I mean, who will sacrifice their career, their other things, and come and do this service. So we have one person, right, whom we support, right? And we need money for that, right? And for this activity to go on in a year-round manner, so we do have few lakhs of expenses for the entire year. So far, all the 7 workshops, we haven't had any fees. We open it to everybody. So we face 2 problems with that. One is that many non-serious participants used to register and not attend. That was one problem. Other problem is that we left it to the people, and then at the end we made an appeal for the contributions, and we used to receive very less, just few thousands of rupees, and it's becoming very more and more difficult for us to run like this. So that's why in this workshop we introduced these fees, and but still we didn't want this to be a barrier. So we have allowed people to register freely also by paying this nominal amount like 500. So it so happens that in the participants, like we have just 1/3 or less than that people who actually have paid, right? And most of 70% have not paid or anything. So we request that if you see that this content is useful, right, the right understanding, we say that right understanding is priority. When we ask question, we say that this is very high priority for myself and for the society. We ask these questions, that what about the society, what about the schools? Like we are expecting that this work should happen at large scale everywhere. But then what is my role? What I am doing for this? So this is a opportunity for all of us to give this priority to right understanding, and show our seriousness by contributing whatever you can, right? And so that we encourage the people who are working for this cause, and you help us in doing these activities further. So these are, it can be few hundred rupees, few thousands rupees, whatever you can offer. So the account details and such things will be shared. Such things will be shared in the WhatsApp group, and please support us financially. So that's it from my side on the CHDHC. Thank you.
Thank you, Harigaru, for sharing about the organization and that appeal for contributions. So, dear participants, many of you might have thought that you would want to contribute after looking at what this workshop is, whether it is useful for me or not. So, about like 10 to 20% of you have paid some amount before, not all the 500. Some of you have paid that 500, but the others, if you all wanted to do it at the end of the workshop after finding, and now this is the time, so please kindly go ahead and contribute whatever you wish to for this workshop. So having said that, now coming into the implementation part of universal human values, we are going to go into this section of this today's session, level by level. So the first level where we would want to see how to implement and make use of this content and how to approach this at the level of self. So for this, I invite Miss Purnima ji, who has been working on this aspect very seriously over the past few years and trying to resolve within herself, and she will share more experiences on how she went about doing that, and how what kind of experiences she has achieved, and hoping that each of these implementation details will be kind of some hints to you. They don't have to be exactly the same. All our situations, like I said earlier, are different, but these are supposed to be kind of hints towards like how do we go about using this content. So with that note, I request Purnima Garu to start your sharing and about the level of self.
Okay, Suman, thank you. Good morning, all. First, let me introduce myself. I am Purnima and I am a housewife, and I did my chartered accountancy, but I prefer to be a housewife so that I can take care of my family a little better. I'm satisfied with that. So the first key thing, if anything helped in this unit workshop for me, is the key takeaway is awareness. This awareness, one tool helped me a lot, like to introspect myself and to get rid of all the, to overcome my likes, dislikes, cravings, aversions, my preconditions, my judgments, and everything. Everything happened with only one thing, that is awareness. That one key thing I took, but that also after attending the workshop and after passing many years, like any other family, we do had some issues in our relation with my husband and with extended family and all that. Also, we had some issues. But then, after suffering for the same thing again and again for years, then this awareness came to my rescue. Like with that awareness, then I stepped back and saw that what is happening, and I am suffering for the same thing again and again, the same issue. It repeats, and again I suffer. Then I was not comfortable with that. Like whatever is happening, I try to catch the feeling what is happening in me. Like if I had any issue with my husband, after that, what is the feeling which I'm left with? That feeling, I was not comfortable. Then I dug into the issue. What is the issue behind that? The one point which helped me was like the uh, uh, like. Uh, feeling that, you are aware that you are suffering. That is essential first to come out of the suffering. The key thing is that you are suffering, that you have to be aware. That helped me. Then I dug into the issue. I'll take some examples how I explored into myself to come out of my pain, to come out of my suffering. I'll take few examples. With my husband, after the up to kids came into our life, it was all beautiful. It was all because I was able to manage the household work and all. It was beautiful. We never had any issues, and that was fine. But once kids came into our life, then it was really getting hectic for me, and I was not able to, manage. And sometimes I would shout on him, like because he would not participate in simple things such as like going for vegetables or getting fruits or getting groceries or not attending some repair work at home or whatever the thing. Like after kids, it is all different scenario. Still the male are like bachelors, and the women have to take up. Women have to like completely change them this. So that was not. I could not digest that. Then the same things happen again and again. He would procrastinate things, and he would not go for vegetables even. And I nagged for so many times. Then also he would not go. So that leaves with some harsh feeling between us. Then I introspected one day. He would shout on me. Then if I nagged him so many times, he would shout on me. Then I would get hurt. So after getting hurt, I stepped back and saw why the hell I'm suffering, why the hell I'm getting hurt. It is just always there is some issue, some simple thing. Like he is not going for vegetables. That is the issue. So with that, we make up many stories like he's not going, he doesn't like me, or he doesn't even know that I'm what the kind of work I have. All the things all the things goes on in mind. So all the incessant chatter in the mind, I didn't like. I wanted to come out of it. But one single issue is like some issue like vegetables or repair work. If I just let go of the thing, if some vegetable is not there at home, I can manage. I can manage with some pickle or powder or rasam or something which I can manage. That is much simpler than fighting with him or asking like getting my rights or rather than that. It was much simple to just let go of the thing. So with that, I found out that whatever I mean, I considered some things as important, that if these things are there, I'll be happy. That itself is making me unhappy. So I realized that suppose like I wanted to buy something for my home, like a bed sheet or some vessels or utensils, and then he doesn't like it. I mean, he had a different opinion in that. Then I just, if I don't buy also, it doesn't make any. It will not make any difference. But if I just fulfill my rights and go and buy, or I have a fight with him, then it will make a huge damage in the relation, which I'm not comfortable. So I thought it's just like going off the things and just not bothering. Don't allowing the things to bother me was much easier than to. Then the damage in the relation. So that worked very well for me. The only logic I applied was whatever I considered as important, if that is making me unhappy, just get rid of the thing. Just leaving the thing also doesn't make any difference. So with that, great peace came in. So I was very, I mean, a great piece, and I was very joyful with that. These kind of things, and another example I'll take, wherein my awareness and my uh, helped on this. Like when I was in my pregnancy, like for my second child, then my first child was 4 years old, and I was pregnant like 7th month or 8th month. I used to go alone for doctor consultation. It was almost 8-9 kilometers. I would drive and I go for doctor consultation. I used to go alone. I feel little bad about that. I mean, going alone when in the hospital, when you see there are always a husband and wife coming, or mother accompanies, or someone always was there with them, and I was only one who were alone there. So I felt, and it was in the night. I used to go in the night. By the time I come back, it will be 9 or 10 or something like that. So I felt little bad. Even then, if I ask him or if I tell him that you also come, I mean, I never said that I am feeling bad or so, but I felt that you also come. I'll feel good. But he says, you go, you just go. Then what he does at home is he just watches the phone, or just no urgent work at home, just catching the baby. And my mother was also there sometimes after the 8th month or so, just taking care of the baby, or just watching the phone or something at home. But he doesn't like when waiting at hospital and all. He doesn't like. Then for some time I felt very bad. I mean, this even the minimum thing also he doesn't know, that to hospital you have to accompany, that also you don't know. But then I was not comfortable with the feeling, like I was not, when I became aware that this is happening, and the reason is that my husband doesn't accompany me to the hospital, doesn't take me to the hospital. That is the issue behind the feeling. Then I thought, am I not able to go alone? I know driving, I can go. And doctor checks if I go alone also. Then what is it that I want? It is only my precondition that like he has to be with me. That is my precondition. If that is not there, I'll be happy. If I can convince him without, I mean, if I can convey him my need, maybe he would have accompanied. But without, like if in that state, if I argue with him, that if I tell him that I know I will not be able to convey him my need without damaging the relation. I was not in that situation, so it was easier for me to just take away the need. I mean, just get rid of the just get out of the feeling, that getting rid of the need was much easier for me. So then I was very happy. The moment I became aware of that this is causing me pain, and just eliminating that was that much easier mode for me. That increased my competence like multifold. I cannot explain that. Now I'm not dependent on anything for my happiness, like not a physical thing, not a feeling, not anything. For anything, I'm not dependent on, not dependent outside. Then it comes a question that why the hell is for marriage? That also occurred to me at a moment. Then if I don't expect anything from other, why marriage for me? That also occurred. Then the answer came in my mind. Marriage is like, it is not you claim that you love the other person, but really it is your expectation. That means you expect something from others. It is love is giving, it is not expecting. So the marriage is that it is your responsibility to take up the responsibilities and not expect anything. And it is not a compromise or just sacrificing or nothing. That if you really work with clarity and if you take the responsibility, then it doesn't feel like one may feel that it is like you're losing all your identity and you're losing all your wishes, likes and dislikes, your likes and interests and everything, and how can one enjoy? But then that is exactly what I'm telling. Like you're not losing your identity, you're losing the thing which you have make up your identity with. Like you have been identified with so many things, you're getting rid of that thing, and now you're going back to your original identity, which is the true self. I mean, if you are just feeling the true self, then you will not expect things from others. You'll that means a very short thing. I mean, that means a very simple. That means very meager thing, like expecting from others and expecting others to do for you. That is a very meager thing. You give. Why you are begging from others? You have immense. If you have love, just shower them. Don't expect anything back. So that made me very joyful. I mean, now I'm in a stage that I'm beyond like any likes or dislikes. Like take an example of my extended family also. Like I have I mean, big family. He has 3 sisters and I have three siblings and all. So people keep visiting us. Then it will be like uh, I do certain kind of things, I do in a certain manner, and the relatives don't like that. And the way in which work is done, that is they don't like that, and their expectations are a little bit more. And then they pass some comment behind me. It hurts me when they pass some comment after hosting. After I work. For me, I feel that I work my best, but even then they don't get satisfied. So because I said I had done my chartered accounting, married very late, like 27, 28. So I was, my mentality was like, like a male only. Because it is my preference that I have to take care of my family, I compromise I left my career. But otherwise, I don't like to, spend too much of time in cooking, too much of spend time in. So it's like bachelor kind of working. My style was like bachelor kind of working. There are no rules like don't getting up at 7 o'clock or mopping the house at whatever the time I like, or washing doing the things. So essentials are done, and the rest of the things you do at whatever the time which is you're comfortable with. But traditionally, people don't like that. This thing has to be done by this time. This thing has to be done by this. So these kind of differences happen with. These type of things happen with my extended family also, and they would pass a comment. Many times it's not that I don't like to cater the needs which they wanted. It is like my physical stamina, which I was not able to do the things which they expected. So that was that was the problem. Then I looked at these things they are able to do like very easily, but I'm not able to do because of my lack of physical stamina. Instead of blaming them, I introspected myself. If I build up my stamina and if I work on my health, I'll be able to do the things which they wanted. They visit only just once in a 6 months, once in 3 months, or like that. For that itself, I'm blaming them. They pass some negative comment. I'm so hurt. Instead of that, if I build some stamina and if I do what they wanted, that will be much easier. So I started working on my health. That gave that made me to work on my health. And then I found out that how much negative things which they do. Especially I focused on the food part. So how much food I eat. I keep on munching the things. Like you make a chutney, you just pop up some peanuts. You do something else and you pop up something. So I became aware of that. How much I eat, what do I eat, and then I realized that the necessity for the body is so less. Now I'm eating only one meal, and evening in the fruit and evening I eat fruits. So only 2 times. That is enough. That is when I introspected into myself, it is for my good. It made me healthy, and I'm happy with that. So instead of finding fault with others, if we look into ourselves, what is our precondition? What is if there is something which I can improve, if there is something which I can do, or if there is something precondition in me which I can let go of, that helps a lot, I feel. So that has been my journey. Now I mean, I'm very happy that there are no such things like likes or dislikes, cravings or aversions. I enjoy everything, be watching, yeah, be it be washing vessels or mopping or anything, book reading or watching a movie. Now I don't need any entertainment also. And so this is possible. This was possible only because of my practices, such as some things which helped me, like reading some books. Some good books that was there. Some good books helped me to I mean, bring the awareness and to identify what are my preconditions, then to separate myself from my preconditions and all. Some books really helped me. And now I'm practicing this reading and awareness and my fitness, my health. Uh, and also little more, I mean, what to do in life, it means like working on relationships little more. I don't need to go out and tell everyone that what this I'm doing, this unit I'm doing that. I realized that the one thing which I can do is little more compassionate, little more loving with the people around me, like my neighbors, my uh, extended family, and whoever I'm come in contact with, just to be more lovingly, more empathetic, and then that is sufficient. Then people get benefited by you. That gives immense happiness than anything else. So that's what I realized as the purpose of life, and I am very joyful now. Thanks to this Jeevan Vidya and thanks to other books which helped me to this in this wonderful journey. Thank you.
Wonderful sharing, Purnima Garu. Thank you so much for sharing those very personal situations and how you came across them and overcame them, and now you're a more comfortable and happy and joyful self. So that's inspiring for all of us. And participants, now we have the husband version here. So Hari Garu is going to share his work on the relationships, whether it's spouse, kids, or extended family. So over to you, Hari Garu.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Purnima spoke now. She's my wife. So we have been, introduced to this concept, very early. In fact, even before the marriage itself. So we discussed these things, and then we got married. So this attending this thing is one thing, and actually living up to these things is a completely another thing. So the real transformation did not happen in me for a long time. Right? It didn't. I mean, I am aware of this content information. I knew if needed, I can lecture on it. But whether it came in my living, so that was a big question for quite a few long years. So at some point the shift happened in me, and I started paying more and more attention on living. So why these things are not there in my living, and then I started working on these issues. So as Purnima mentioned, I was not even aware of these things, of my minimum responsibilities in the house, then how other person feels, and when you don't do even these small things like accompanying your wife to the doctor, or even when she's not feeling well at home, and then so much of laziness is there in me, that just out of sheer laziness you're not doing your part, and how much actually it affects the other person, particularly the woman, right? So these things were there in me, and then I started paying attention. See, living, practicing these things is actually, somebody is speaking, maybe they can mute. So practicing these things is actually, getting myself changed in all these aspects and working on myself. So I started, so many things were there to change. So what I did was, systematically, I identified few things in every aspect that needs to change. For example, the first one I attended, the first one or one of the first ones is sarcasm. I used to speak, sarcastically, pass, comments on the wife. There is this, it's coming some precondition. We have so many, wife husband jokes and this thing. I don't know how it happened, but I used to do that. And then I realized that actually I didn't even realize that I'm doing so long time, and then other person how is feeling hurt. Even if they feel uncomfortable, I used to say you need to have humor and these things. And then and once I decided. Noise, can we just do that?
Raj Garu,
Go
can
ahead.
you please mute?
Raj Karmuri, please mute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I realized and then worked on it that I will not pass on these sarcastic comments. That's it, full stop. So I did very systematically. So day one is am I saying anything today? I concluded that this unnecessarily hurts other person and I'll not do it. See, it's not just sufficient to have trust, but then it has to reflect in our behavior also. So I worked on it. So day one, day two, day three, like that. So I worked on it systematically, even within the day one. Morning I wake up till lunchtime. Did I say anything? So that kind of consciousness I practiced and worked, and then I successfully got rid of in few weeks, about a month I would say. And now the practice is done so much now. I don't say it at all. Even if I want to say something, that doesn't even come to me. And then in a family life, I now realize very clearly that when I lack this feeling of prosperity and then give higher value to the money compared to the relationship, whether money is more important, relationship more important, and then the time when the focus was on saving some few bucks, and then unnecessarily the other person is getting into trouble. So that kind of behavior was there from my side. And then one understood, okay, this kind of the tendency is there in me. So I was very conscious in all the decisions. So I took a decision, a resolution, that in all these things, my wife, among both of us, so she has much better sense, so she will take the decision. So most of the time that happens. Even now also sometimes it pops up, but then it gets resolved very very quickly. Anything related to spending to the house, very genuine needs also, I used to postpone and do things. So similarly with the any, you always have some tap leaking, some mesh door, some mosquitoes coming, some loose things here and there, some carpentry, electricity work, all the time, something or the other is there in the household, and it bothers, right? It causes trouble. So I usually do not give importance to these things, and then these things used to happen. This is just being very careless and all. So then I realized how important it is to attend even these small things, right? Then now I'm much better there, and I attend these things very sincerely now without any delay. And due to laziness and not having this habit for entire life, right? So I never got into habit of getting part of this household chores. It is whether washing dishes or mopping floor or these things. As far as children, I used to take care, but many of these things I was not part of it. So this also I realized, and very systematically, so I take care of certain things, and all these are very tangible. The visible results are there immediately, and the other person can feel it. So that's how I worked systematically on these things, by keeping the feeling intact, right? By outside expression and playing my role properly. I did these things, and particularly with the wife. And now, I mean, I can confidently say, now when I look back, whatever things I did, I look really bad, that even this much I didn't know. And some of these things even sound very inhuman now. How did I did that? But now we are in such a stage that we're at a stage of no complaints, no issues, absolute bliss. The things are so much better. Things do not matter. Particularly, both of us are little intense in our own self journeys, this transformation process, that so many things do not matter actually now. And then relationship is so good. So we are enjoying that marriage life, right? And now I'll come to the kids, right? We have two kids. One is 10-year-old, the other is 5-year-old. So the 10-year-old girl and the 5-year-old boy. So those who heard me in sharing sessions in the English, I shared some of these things. So once we understand this content, we see that towards the children, the predominant feelings are care and the guidance. The care is towards the body of our children. The guidance is towards the self of the children. So when we understand this, we realize how much important, right, our role, right, role in guiding the children, and then how can we help them in getting the right good habits, right, so-called good habits, understand the relationship, be responsible, and ultimately come to the stage of self-discipline. With this as a focus, giving the guidance as focus, quite a few things we do. Usually we are obsessed, most of us are obsessed with only their body part, that is whether they ate or not, they bathed or not. At a body level we do that. And apart from that, from the very childhood itself, being focused at the self level. For example, very abstract concept like mind, self, and the body. So how self is telling you something, how there is a natural acceptance, there is a voice inside you, but then there is this mind telling you that no, do something tasty, something interesting, something entertaining, but then you consult yourself and operate based on the natural acceptance. This kind of concept I shared with my child, when he was just, 4-year old, 5-year old, and then he can understand it so well, and he practices, so nicely. In fact, he has so less preconditioning. It happens, very nicely. And initially, in fact, I was a little harsh with him. Like in the beginning, when he was born in the early age, he was more like a crybaby, little aggressive and reactive. And by working on him consciously, the Purnima and myself together, and then there is so much of transformation on him. He's so soft now in his behavior. There's almost no aggression. We worked on, whatever he's crying, we worked on very simple thing, right? Come what may, I'll not be sad. So this is the rule I told him. Come what may, I'll not be sad. If there is a situation I don't like, we'll change the situation. And then even if the situation is not changed, I'll not be sad. This is the one simple rule I told him. So he himself, feels like crying sometimes, and introspects little bit, and comes and says that, Daddy, I'm not crying, you see. So I felt that, this is not important to cry. I want to be happy. So if I'm more happy, the more happy things will happen. So that's the conditioning we have introduced in him. And like that, there's a lot of change in him, and we are very confident that if we work with the children, it's much easier and comfortable with the right feeling, and when we have clarity, do this. And then we also came to this conclusion that it's more about being an inspiration to them. Am I the kind of person we want them to be, great people, but am I the great parent? Right? Am I the person whom they can look up to, and I want to become like my father, like my mother? Are we living like that? In fact, our focus is more and more on that now, being an inspiration, being the change you want to see. So that's the approach we have taken. Right? And there's the same thing, whatever we understood in our relationship with our kids, so it naturally flowing to our extended family. When we say extended family, it is with my own brother, my sisters, with one or two, like we have a large family, 3 sisters and the three brothers, 6 of us, right? So with sisters, there were issues, like they have some expectations in Indian culture, right? So the brothers has to give something to sisters, and these kind of issues were there. By having the right feeling in me, even if they are asking, it's just a matter of other person feeling physical facilities are more important. And with that clarity, with the right trust in us, when we engage with them, have this communication going on for months and years, the relationship has become so deeper. Now I have no issues with any of the sisters, any of the brothers, right? And even if something comes that we are able to resolve so well, and in fact my entire family attended these workshops, and we talk about it. They know that I do this work, and things are very beautiful. And particularly in terms of the thing is that as of now, other members expecting some physical facilities from us is one of the issues in the families. But then what actually they are looking is like betterment in their life, which they are thinking that it will happen to the physical facilities. But we are not able to see that a lot of betterment can happen through the guidance, right? So that part actually clicked in me, and then I started working with the next generation of the sisters and their children, of the sisters and the brothers. And then for them, with them, it becomes so easy. Last 2 months, the children of our brothers are with us, and then when they were with us, we introspected so much that, am I able to love them? Do I have the right feeling towards them as I have with my own children? Or am I differentiating? With that kind of deep reflection, we and Purnima did it, and we presented ourselves with that equal love and talked with them, guided them, and so much radical transformation happened in them. They are so grateful, and so many good practices we are able to implement in them. And then they felt like staying here, and they stayed here for 60 days, and so much of changes happened. Their parents are so happy. The shift has happened that, okay, in the relationship, this is what one the best thing that can happen in relationship is this, not benefit of some physical facility. So that shift, we are able to see in the family. And same thing happened with the children of my sisters. Also, they are teenagers, over the phone, I've been guiding them, inspiring them what they can do. in terms of their job, their career, and them giving some suggestions, inculcating some good practices. And when they see some changes in children, the parents are so happy. It's worth, several lakhs, several millions of people. Right. The second part, we are complaining that they are expecting some physical facilities from us, but we are not doing something better than the physical facilities. That is working at the self level. Why we are not doing? We ourselves lack, clarity. When I actually genuinely a transformation process started in me, so I am able to do, quite a few things in our relationships, and able to eliminate so many of my mistakes. So even in the college where I work, so I work in a college, so where I'm a professor there. So even at a professional level also, now the perspective is changed, that with the students, what is my response? Is it about sharing the knowledge of maths and science or engineering, whatever I know? It's just about sharing this information effective way and getting called as great teacher? Or is it about actually providing the guidance in a teacher student relationship? What is the main value? It is the guidance. So I took a lot of initiatives thanks to this ACT induction program as well. I've been playing a key role in the induction program, and we designed in such an excellent program. And I've seen many programs in the countries. I would like to proudly say that our program is one of the best in the country. We did really excellently, and then I'm able to introduce this, play a role in introducing this to at least the 30 teachers in NIT Warangal. Right, and quite a few teachers attended, and they took wholeheartedly, and people have contributed to this without expecting anything. A lot of good relations get built in the process, and as we have good relations at the workplace, they translate into collaboration, they translate into sharing of the knowledge, and then a lot more, and every process is very comfortable. Right, with students, a lot of good things happening. I have master students, PhD students, they feel so comfortable, and then more and more master students and PhD students wants to work with you. In fact, the areas I work, these are little tough compared to other areas. It's you have to do more work and you have less output, but still people want to work with me, and year after year, I get requests that they want to work with me because of the way we handle students, with the way they feel comfortable, and the amount of change happens in a student by associating with us. So those benefits are also there. So as I said, to start with, quite a few negative things were there in me. As I said, quite a few things were not clear to me, right? So the Purnima told you quite a few things, right? More than that were there, right? So like what she told is very, very few things. A lot more things were there. So, but I am able to, come out of these things, so quickly. Thanks to this complete awareness, a single thing, this awareness itself is, does miracles. I'm continuously aware of what is going on inside, what recognition is there. Am I, governed by natural acceptance or not? And in the process, I like reading, so I'm comfortable here. I do it effortlessly. So I do, quite a bit of reading of spiritual literature, self-development, and literature and all. And I'm conscious about the fitness, and then I'm also passionate about sharing this content as I got benefited, as so much of transformation, so much of joy and experiencing it. Naturally, you feel like sharing this joy with and many people, and then thanks to all these people, whether it is Suman, Srinivas, Shiva, Giri, Pradeep, I mean all these people, we all formed this CHDC initiative, and through that we are able to do these things. And then I'm also continuously interested in how we can spread this UHV more and more effectively. We're involved in this research on this content and understanding to ourselves as well. So thank you. So that's it from my side. Thank you, Suman. Continue.
Thank you, Harigaru, for sharing the perspective about implementing things at a family level. I mean, both of you, the way you shared how you grew together as a couple is like inspiring for all of us, and now probably inspiring for the participants also. So, yeah, we hope that beautiful journey continues for the years to come. And with that, we got into the next dimension, that is the at the level of society. I would like to introduce Mr. Shiva Shankar Kanteti, who has been conducting the discussion sessions in Telugu for this workshop. Shiva has been at Indian Air Force and left the job, wanted to work in the education sector, and has been now working for in that sector, education, right education, and implementing value education for almost over 10 years now after leaving his Air Force job. So So let's hear from Shiva Garu on how this journey of into the society and what is his participation, how he chose it, and how he is able to impact it. So over to you, Shiva Garu.
Thank you, Andy. Namaste to everyone. So as Suman sir said that I started my journey as a teacher. While graduation, I started teaching. Then I joined Indian Air Force. 4.5 years I worked. So during that time, I got introduced to this Jeevan Vidya. So till that time I know what not to do, but I don't have any clarity what to do. So during that journey, I realized when I see these 5 dimensions are the core, then I realized that this education sanskar is a very, very important aspect in society. And also by nature, I like being sharing what I knowing and that. So I decided that I want to be a teacher. So then I went for my master's, bachelor's in education. Then I started my first job with Ajim Premji Foundation. So Ajim Premji Foundation works in the education sector, especially in the teacher education area. So my key aim is that how this knowledge or associated knowledge around it should be part of the teacher education. So I strongly believe that when a teacher gets this clarity, then in society miracles will happen. So with this clarity, I started working on it. So as when I joined it in Ajim Premji Foundation, there are many seniors, many people are well educated, almost they've been in this space for 20, 30 years. But when I started with this knowledge, with certain perspective, when you go, always there is a tension between a person who is young, who is, and then he is saying a little louder things and very strongly taking the stand and that. So always, however, I know the concept of relationship. When it comes to the work, it's like my opinion or versus your opinion, or like my proposal or your proposal. This started coming it well. Then slowly this content helped me to realize now what is, and asking this question, why I am here, why I am doing what I am doing. Am I doing just to do my job or to get some name, or the purpose, where I started, why this started this work? This question helped me to again reprioritize what I am thinking and what I am doing. So then the way, one is that there are two works we used to do in Ajim Premji Foundation. One is that internal to organization. Second is with the government. We work with 8 to 9 state governments. So when we work internal organization, so first I started practicing two things. One is that this relationship is more important than winning the idea or my name or fame. Second, the purpose, my consciousness about my purpose, why I'm here. I think this clarity helped me to navigate in the organization. So as a result, what happened, I'm able to introduce this content inside the organization as a employee capacity building. And so like I'm telling that right now, I'm not part of that organization, but the relationships I had, but right now the sharing of knowledge or the suggestions happens very informally. So from my boss, from my subordinates and that. So that's the one thing I can say. The second challenge I faced, bigger challenge, is when I'm working with the government. So when I'm working with, especially in Karnataka, I used to work the Karnataka government. So there is a team got formed to introduce this content to in the teacher education. So in the team there are 2 people from my foundation, like Ajim Premji Foundation, and 6 people from the government. And I don't know the language Kannada, and I'm the youngest in the group, and all other senior members is the highest in their posts in the government. They are like group 1 category officers, and they have good experience in their domain. Now, there is agenda is mine, that I need to take this knowledge into the system. Now, every day when it starts with it, it's very difficult for me to take entire 8-member group along. So what so again, the same mantra helped me, uh, that relationship is more important, and my purpose that it should go to the system. So that helped me to first, keep aside my ego and surrender to the relationship, surrender to the, what other person is saying, the listening to the other. So then I could able to build that relationship. It has taken 4.5 months for me to establish this relationship, and then that they have some trust that Shiva is here for a larger purpose, and he's saying something valuable. In this 4.5 months, for me, every day is is a battle inside me, that I'm not doing much. I am not doing much. There is content is not going, and different traditions, knowledge is coming in the content. But this one principle, you know, the larger purpose and relationship, is helped me to navigate. In next 5 months of journey, the way this team worked to make it this happen, and what happened, it is they started working, more inspired than me. And at the one point of time, it realized that Shiva is no more in that team. One point, like when I started, is the Shiva is entire thing. That given me a lot of strength to believe that, I cannot do anything alone. With the other only we can do something. Even my agenda also, I cannot do it. So in the journey, what happens is that, okay, the purpose also now it started shifting secondary. The relationship is primary. When relationship is good, and that this purpose all naturally will automatically go. So that was my learning. So with this thing, that in that project, that module become one of the compulsory module in the system. To 144 master resource persons prepared in that process in the entire state, in every district, 4 people, and that content reached 25,000 teachers. If I just look back, I don't know Kannada language, and uh, I am not good at this leadership skills or that, but something, and I don't have any power from the statutory power to take it. But if I reflect on how these things happen, the larger things, I clearly see this clarity, and also this importance of this, my role, how much I feel that my job is important for the larger cause. I think these two things helped me. So then, after 4.5 years of my work, we realized that we need to start an organization. So then, with a couple of professors, we started a startup called Virida Social Impact Solutions. So here, there are 3 of my professors who I studied with them, and there are 3 other people who their work experience is nearly 1 year more than my age. Now, within this team, so now we need to do this research work and this sharing and teaching work. Again, similar struggles, because when it's very difficult, when uh, everyone to see that your knowledge or your experience in front of there. So again, that ego, that I know. Second, they don't know. This kind of ego, again, I realized that this is not taking far. Again, that relationship and the cause. So here right now I'm working with them, with the team, and also our CHDHC is that we all that what just Suman sir has explained. So what I experienced is that as a team, I am not complete. As a team and relation, I give more value to relationship. Then naturally I see how I can be complementary, how I can be, how I can play my role in the larger cause. Now my ego, my identity, it's me, my name, then it's going naturally secondary. It's we, our collective representation and our relationship. I think these becoming the higher priority. So this is what is happening. in especially in my journey as a contributing someone in the larger society. So how I certain clarities are helping, and clearly seeing that every day asking this question, how I am contributing with my work to the larger cause and in the larger thing. I think this again and again, and saying that, then slowly I started respecting my job, uh, especially and also try to this over evaluation of the self work and under evaluating other people's work is also generally natural tendency in me. uh, so that was I could able to come out of it in this journey, recognizing that every small work is, has some contribution to the larger cause. Either it is my clerk, either my colleague or my senior or that. So sincerely reflecting on that, that now for the larger cause to happen, how many things it's required, then how much I am able to contribute, and how much which I cannot contribute with my present competence, uh, and how others are very good at that and how they can contribute. I think asking this question again and again helped me to see this complementarity of every small and big action, and at the same time the relationship. So these are the two things I want to share from my side. So when I started this journey, uh, so always is a question that this money and the because you are what is the happening, because this we don't charge for this content, but at the same time I need to survive, I need to do it. So what happened is that with this clarity, especially Jeevan Vidya is clarity, that you need not, it tyag or bhog. You need not to sacrifice something, at the same time you need not to indulge something. That this sadupayog part and the madhyasth part. This was very much an eye opener for me. So I could able to negotiate my needs and my family needs, and I could able to take my family's help, and realize that okay, you can earn, at the same time you can achieve the passion with this clarity. So that part is very much is helping. So there is no regrets at all. Yes, I may have some less money or that, but when I see this part, what I'm getting in this journey, it's a very beautiful. At the same time, the recognizing the value of other systems, it's not that my job is the big job or that. If a farmer is doing some job, if a banker is doing some job, if a doctor, how in these 5 dimensions, every job as a software engineer is contributing directly or indirectly. If I am contributing directly, the satisfaction is very high. If I am not contributing directly, but can I see that how I can contribute indirectly? This positioning of looking at my perception towards my thing helped me to respect what I am doing, and also respect what others are doing, rather than scolding that no, I shouldn't have done like that, I wouldn't have done like that, if I do like this it would be that. That thing thinking is gone. So
Sivagaru, one
that
more minute.
yes sir. So this is the background of my journey, Andy, in the larger my contribution to the society. One more revelation has happened is that in this journey, what happened is that I used to spend more time for the society and neglect the family aspect, or especially working on myself aspect. What I realized, especially my team, the CHDHC team, when we formed, uh, if so all my this is like I don't know whether I have my own brothers are like that, we use like that, but we say 6-7 people. I feel that it's more than a family, it's more than my brothers or that. What happened when we sincerely listen to each other, and I realized that where I am doing the wrong thing. So this balance of that, how much I do outside work, how much I do take the responsibility for my family, my wife and my kid, That was a good initiate. So how I can work on myself, that is helping me to work outside better. So this is another revelation I got with the help of this knowledge and our team. So with this, I am stopping here, Andy. So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sivagaru, and sorry for stopping because we don't have the we have only 15 minutes left, and we
Done,
have
done, sir. I'm done.
yeah, and thank you for sharing your inspiring journey about how you prioritized the importance of the work over facilities, and also managing balancing between the family and society, especially in social work. This balance, maintaining the balance between taking care of the family and the society, is a very important aspect that is often missed out, and you have rightly pointed out all the attention to the right points on that. Thank you so much. And next up is the man. At 40 plus, he can run 40 kilometers plus very easily, and also can cycle more than maybe 40 to 50 kilometers comfortably. And he can even goes on for his office for a few days of the week cycling. So let me introduce Giri Garu. He's going to share about how his life is nurturing the nature, and how he's participating in the dimension of nature. Over to you, Giri Garu.
Okay, namaste. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so are you sharing? Do you want me to share, Suman?
I will share. I will share in a minute. You can start, Giri Garu.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've been environment conscious most of my time, even before Jeevan Vidya got introduced to me. But then it was out of passion. It was out of getting kind of name, fame kind of thing. But then later when Jeevan Vidya I attended, I started looking answers like, what am I and why am I doing this? And, is I started looking at myself as part of nature. Okay. Myself also is part of nature. My body is part of nature. And whatever that I am doing is with nature. Okay. So with that, even if I'm interacting with other human beings, the relationships that I have is also being part of nature. Whatever that I do, I will encourage others to do something with nature, right? All that is happening. So as part of myself, what I've done so far, my commitments, see, as Shiva also had said, this is not tyag or bhog. I'm not sacrificing or I'm not overindulging. So whatever that I am doing, I'm happy with it. I'm contentful with it. And you will see, why, all this is making me more happy when I, giving my uh, commitments. So what I've done so far is that recently I've tried to minimize all the chemical products that we have. This is because, when I attended Dr. Sundarji's health workshop, I realized what the harm that we are doing. If I see that, whatever that we use in the bathrooms daily when we wake up, the toothpaste, the soap, and the shampoos and all the toiletries that we use, if that water is given to plants, how harmful it will be for the plants? Will they grow at all? No, right? If the plants are itself are not growing, and it would be definitely harmful for our body. So now, first of all, why is there a need for a drainage system? Like, in our homes, we look for the good drainage system and all that. See, why can't we use the same water to, recycle, to, make our own plants? And, it's a very much a possibility. And that's how we used to live earlier in traditional days. But then, with so much of addiction or so much of, manyatas, preconditions that we've had with the advertisements and all that, we've kind of been fooled. And I think it's not really necessary to, I mean, I'm not, again, one thing that I'm saying is, this is not the only way. Whatever that I have done is not the only way to live. But then there could be, you may have better ways to follow. But what I'm saying is, this is something that I found useful for me, and it is helping me, and I'm happy with it. So I kind of reduced these chemical products basically because they're not doing anything. It's eventually harming my body. It's going to eventually harm the nature, the water, the plants, then everywhere. So I kind of tried to reduce that. and I started cycling. I always do. I've been like that. I never bought a vehicle. I bought one scooter when I was in Bangalore, 2003, which also is kind of scrapped now. And then after that, I never bought a vehicle. Even if it's necessary in an emergency, I use my father's car that he has. I live with my parents actually, me and my family, and I use only my father's car only if it's for others or if it's an emergency. But otherwise, I always depend on public transportation. I cycle. Of course, my company has a transport system which I use, and most of the times I walk. And it's not only helping me for my health and fitness, but it is much more eco-friendly, and it's helping me. In fact, one of the things that I did in my own company, I work in TCS as a software engineer, is that I found that there is no good parking place for cycles. We had to park cycle somewhere far off, and there is a good sheltered parking for cars and bikes. And this is something that I didn't really like. And a company, when they say that they are green promoting companies, they should have encourage cycling. And this initiative that I took, and I kind of not complained. It's most of us, we tend to complain, with the authorities, government, but then I took it in a positive way. I included myself as part of them, saying that when we say that we are a green company, green initiative company, we should encourage cycle. So then I said, I myself had a difficulty. Then, people must be having difficulties in coming by cycle, coming by walking. So I made a specific parking places for cycling in my own company, and people did recognize that. And in fact, when the cycling parking place has come, a lot of cycles have started parking there. People have seen me cycling to office, and they started cycling, and it is some good happy feeling that I got, and I see that. And apart from that, I'm a very conscious, health conscious, not giving preference to taste. In fact, I give a preference to taste, but after health, after nutrition. So this is something that, of course, after attending Jeevan Vidya workshops, and not only that, I've converted myself to vegan. I own not. I prefer, or I don't take any of the animal products. No dairy, no cheese, butter, ghee, kind of things, because they are all coming from the animals. And there is a lot of discussion, and that can argument that can happen, but it's my choice basically, because I think that it's all not necessary, and it's again not sacrifice that I'm doing. In fact, I have more choices than most of the vegetarian and non-vegetarian, basically because I make, in fact, my family helps me in making different kinds of milks. The milk made from almonds, milk made from kaju, milk made from soya and whatnot, a curd made from peanuts, tea, coffee, all that. And in fact, my daughter makes me a cake without egg, without milk, and I'll use alternative products. And they are, helping me. Initially, there was it was tough for them to, help me, but because they learned how to make it, and I told them, it is all family help that made me do all this. And in fact, I'm enjoying it. I would make all the dishes, and much more than everyone else actually. And I try to be healthy. And apart from that, I avoid all the industrialized products, which are definitely unhealthy. I avoid, in fact, bottled water also. I've seen cases where bottled water or purified RO water has damaged health. And it's again a debatable topic, which we can actually discuss anytime later. And my family initiatives, most of them are because of my understanding and my help and interactions with them. Like for example, we have a rooftop garden in our home. There is like all kinds of vegetables, some of the fruits also, that we grow on our rooftop. It's a very small house, 200 square yard, 220 square yards house, and we have a solar panels. We have, and almost entire electricity is from our rooftop. In fact, if sometimes even we share it to others. So that's how it's a government scheme, and we are almost self-sufficient. Almost, like, I think 3 to 4 days in a week we make our own vegetables. And the kitchen waste, most of the kitchen waste goes as a compost, and it goes as manure to the plants that we grow. And it's not of my work. I mean, I'm happily saying that is my parents do that. They are almost like 70. My father is almost close to 80, 78. Um, 76, 77, but then he feels, he can do it, and he's more healthy doing all this. My mother helps him as well, and most of these initiatives are because of me. I try to do some research and got some things, and I help them to do all this, and they are happy doing it. We have rainwater harvesting system, solar panels, and we are mostly self-sufficient in all of this. And some percentage, maybe 50-60%, and trying to make it 100% if at all possible. And so other initiatives in society that I've done is, like, I've been part of some of these initiatives by my friend, who is like, initiating like car free Thursdays, where I used to cycle every Thursday. I used to cycle to work, and it's about almost 30 kilometers one way. So and in fact, I also cycle to my hometown, which is about 50 kilometers. I did some of the events, like, breves, cycling breves, something like marathon in running. 200 kilometers I cycled. So I enjoyed it. Talking to people, getting associated with people, and also worked with several NGOs who are working with nature and environment. So, and they are quite inspired with the actions that I do, and it's not out of name and fame that I've done. It's for my own happiness and my own uh, you know satisfaction that I've done, and I'm happy with it. And right now, what I'm practicing, what I'm trying to understand is, we most of the time look at things like, units as their form, property, mostly Roop or Gun. But we don't usually look at what their innateness and what their characteristics are. Most of our education, science and chemistry are mostly telling about forms and properties, not much about the actual therm or swabhav or innateness of each and of these objects. And in fact, this is something that we can gain through advanced level workshops, and I'm trying to understand more and more and more and about that. In fact, ourself, if we understand, just like we have our body, I think Hari has already shared this. Just like I have my parts, body parts, myself also has some parts, some locations, some places where I do all these activities. I have to understand all these, not just my behavior. Behavior is with the body. So if I understand all this and I work, if I understand myself as a unit, I can understand all other units in nature. Only if I understand myself, I can understand every unit that I have in nature, whether it is trees, plants, whether it's animal, whether it's any of, in fact other human being is also part of nature. Only if I understand myself, I can understand everything in the existence. In fact, I can understand the space that we have between the units. Am I able to see the space? Am I able to see the other unit? And within the units also there is a space. Is it something that I am able to see? Okay, so this is something that I've been trying to understand. And finally, what I believe is, we should produce, not based on the profit, not based on not understanding the prosperity, but we should produce based on understanding and the needs that we have, and understanding how much and what needs that we need to have. And of course, based on understanding that, we can reduce. We have been utilizing so many products, so many things we don't really need, and basically for show off or attention or something. And we can rightly utilize and enable for others, for right relationships, not just with humans but also with other units in nature and existence. So this is what I've been trying to do, and
Great.
that's my sharing so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Girigaru. I'm sure each one of our participants would have got inspired and got wonderful ideas on how we can live in a harmony with nature. So, participants, it was a very important announcement. So, I request you to stay back for a couple of minutes. I know we are overshooting today. I'm sorry for that, but I have a very, very important announcement is there. So, we are going to give something called as a self-evaluation form in the chat window now. Okay, this evaluation form is basically about looking at ourselves, how we were thinking, or what were our desires, what were our notions before the workshop. And as we have been attending the various sessions in the workshop, what are the transformations that happened within our thinking, desiring, and selection, and our relationships? What are our programs for future for taking this into the implementation phase? So please take that link. Okay, please copy that link. Srinivas ji is going to share it on the in the chat window now. Okay, and kindly fill this very in a detailed manner. Please sit down, at a silent place. Spend some 5 to 10 minutes, or at least 15 minutes on this form. This is not a feedback about workshop. Okay, we are not asking how the workshop went or how it was and all that. That will be tomorrow. After the end of tomorrow, we'll take the feedback about the workshop. But this is the kind of today's very important homework. But this homework will also give us an insight of how what kind of transformation has been possible. Okay, so that feedback form is put in the chat window, so please take that. And also, if any of you are willing to share your experience about your thinking, how this whole workshop has transformed your thinking or helped you think better, so please select that also in the form. In the tomorrow's session, we will be requesting some of the participants to share your experience in less than 5 minutes. Okay, along with the other content that will be discussed tomorrow, we will also have a sharing part in the workshop tomorrow, which we will request some of you out of all the participants. Since we'll have limited time, we may be picking up a few participants from here and there from different states and etc. demographics. But if you're if you're okay to share your experience through this workshop with everybody else, it will benefit. So that you please mention in that form. There is one question specific to that, whether you can share tomorrow. But please spend some time on this. This will also help us relate to you in the future, how we want to work with you in future, what are the next kind of programs that we should plan so that we all can grow together as human beings. That we have put it in the form. So please please fill that form with care and attention, care. So tomorrow in the session, after today's evening session will be there discussion. Tomorrow's session we will meet again at the same time at 7 o'clock. So see you all in the session. And also I just want to remind about the contributions once again. So whoever wanted to pay towards the end of the workshop after seeing what it is, or if you are inspired that okay, this organization has to work more, please do contribute your part of it to the organization for running expenses. I'm not going to get any money, or Hari or whoever is facilitating these workshops, we don't take money because it's behavior. It's a sense of responsibility towards our society that we are conducting these workshops. So we don't take any money. This is only going to things like Google Meet costs, printer costs, etc. And like the administration expenses, running some servers, or running a website, running that has some costs. So all these kind of costs only we use this money for. It's not doesn't go to anybody who conducted the workshop as such. Okay, so kindly please reflect upon it and share share your contributions also on that. But yeah, and both evaluation form and contribution, these are the two announcements I wanted to make. And thank you for staying back, and see you all in the evening discussion session. And tomorrow morning tomorrow morning in the 10th day, we'll conclude tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. And I thank all our members also who shared their journey today with each of you.